Hello everybody and welcome to an evening with Bull. I am your moderator, Tony Miller. Today we will discuss whether all drugs in the United States should be legalized. But before we get to discussion, I'm going to introduce our panel. Starting over here on your left, the two ladies who oppose drugs being legalized in the U.S.
My name is Mary Jean Metheny, and I will be defending anti-drugs.
My name is Dr. Regina Phalange, and I am the president and founder of the Drugs Are Bad for People organization.
And then here we have the two individuals that are with the legalization of all drugs.
I'm Xander Escobar. I'm the son of Pablo Escobar, Colombian drug lord.
And my name is Stevis McQuevis. I am an addict of Mr. Escobar's product.
1 in 10 Americans currently favor the legalization of heroin and cocaine. On top of that, recreational marijuana is being legalized in many states and has become a hot topic of debate. But what we are going to discuss today is whether other drugs should be legalized. So with that being said, should all drugs be legalized in the United States?
Yes, absolutely, Tony, absolutely. I mean, I can go off a little bit of a personal story here. Like I said, Pablo Escobar is my father. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's kind of the man when it comes to drugs. He runs the whole drug trade, more or less. And I've been able to live a pretty lavish lifestyle because of drugs. It's incredible. I mean, I dress down for the occasion because I know you guys aren't in the drugs. You don't have that kind of money, but so.
And as a person who's been addicted to cocaine since 16 years old, it's safe to say that these drugs should be legal. There's nothing really that wrong with them unless you think there's something wrong with them. But I get my drugs personally from Mr. Escobar, and they are fantastic. I just need them all the time, and drugs just have to be legal.
Question for you two gentlemen. Why would drugs be beneficial for our society?
Money, 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 money. Drugs are money, money is power.
I agree 100%.
Well, I would like to bring up the point, however, that if the person on top, even if the person on top is making lots and lots of money, if all the people who are actually buying the drugs are actually draining out all of their wallets and draining out all of their own energy because they're not able to function as well in society anyways, because this is something that's slowly killing them, it's something that's taking apart their own body, then aren't we actually hurting the economy in the end? Because we're bringing down the population and we're actually like bringing down productivity. So it's actually hurting the economy in the end.
But the more that, each of you individuals is going to spend on drugs, and then when your addiction continues, it's just going to continue. You're going to spend more
creating
and
jobs.
more money.
We're creating jobs is what we're doing. There's a crack shop on the corner now. That gives, jobs to the whole community now.
Mm-hmm.
And now your point of killing people with drugs, that's with bad drugs. Good drugs, I mean, I can't find the study here, but drugs from the Escobar line, they don't kill people. We've got good drugs, they're pure, they don't kill people.
You have proof of this.
Yep,
You
right here,
you just can't,
stand and walk and
you
live
just
in
can't
proof.
find it.
Look at this guy,
Right
like you said, he's been addicted to cocaine since he was 16.
I've been depressed my whole life, and then once I found Coke, I mean, it just brought me up. I feel like I'd run a marathon every day.
That's one individual.
Do you run a marathon though?
No.
There we go. So are you actually taking care of your body? Are you actually doing something that will make you more healthful and live a longer life?
I exercise daily. I just also use Coke daily.
Okay,
but that's your personal preference, and if we're going to make drugs widely available to the entire population, I think that more people are just it's gonna get in the wrong hands of the wrong people, and you're gonna have everyone doing drugs, and they're really bad for people, and they're gonna kill people, and the drugs are just going to kill the people. I don't understand.
Drugs and addiction are only bad for people when you run out of supply. That's when people start doing, committing crimes. You run out of supply, now you gotta go. That's when people, go steal the guns from the black market and commit those kind of crimes.
No, that's when people run out of funding in order to get the supply. So when you
But that's why we're creating jobs.
But you're also creating addiction. If you create addiction, then you end up with lots and lots of people who don't have a lot of money who end up trying to rob a bank so that they end up trying to get more drugs. And that'll still happen whether or not they are legal. If you try to make them legal, you just end up with more people who are more easily addicted to it, and you end up with a zombie apocalypse on your hands, basically.
Addictions also create more revenue. I mean, now you got a booming business. People are addicted, they need it.
And destroying America.
Business is booming. Money.
But how do you know?
Boom, explosion.
But how do you know that zombie apocalypse isn't going to become a reality? We don't know that.
You're right, we don't, but I mean, drugs just have to be legal.
I don't think zombie apocalypse is that bad.
It'll benefit everyone.
So how would the legalization of drugs affect family culture and lifestyle?
It will destroy it. It'll absolutely tear families apart. It'll tear friends apart. It already does as it is, honestly. There are lots and lots of people who have had their families fall apart because parents aren't able to take care of their children because they're putting all of their money and all of their time and all of their energy into these drugs. They're not going to work. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their kids. And it just continues to perpetuate itself because then these kids feel like they're watching their parents do these things, and then they continue to do the same thing that their parents do. And marriages fall apart and all these different kinds of things. It's not good for the American public.
I mean, if they were able to work at the crack shop, though, they'd go to work.
But the majority of people are already irresponsible. Do we really need more drugs in the hands of irresponsible people?
And not
Steve, how do you
everyone
feel
can
about
work in the
this?
crack shop.
Well,
Exactly, distributing these drugs to other irresponsible people.
I mean, I think saying they're all irresponsible is, look at Steve here.
I'm responsible with my drugs. I mean, it brought my family closer. We share the same needle at least 2 or 3 times a day.
But that's you, and that's you yourself. That does not apply to a wide range of
Why doesn't
the
it, though?
population.
Why does it not?
And also, is it a good idea for people to be reusing these same needles? Because if you have all these people who are needing these kinds of needles, if you're continuing to reuse them, then that could end up somebody else. Disease. It could end up spreading disease. You could end up with that issue. And then if you try to recycle it, which would be better for the environment, because if you end up throwing them all away, then that's a huge waste of resources. But then if you end up trying to reuse them, then you end up with diseases spreading all over the place. Do we really need to have this problem on our hands?
You don't have to throw them away. Like you said, we just reuse them because, you don't have to hide your paraphernalia anymore. It's not illegal. You don't have to hide anything from
But
the
the
cops.
cleanliness of that.
Just
That's how
share it
drugs
with
are
family
killing people,
members.
you guys.
That's all you should do.
Has
Just share the
anyone in
needle
your
with
family died from
Nope.
sharing needles?
Nope. We're all the same bloodline. We've all been using the
living
same
proof.
needle for
Not
a couple
yet.
years, and
People
we're
do
good.
die from things like that, though, because there are blood-borne pathogens and blood-borne diseases and things like that can happen. What if there was a new one that started up and suddenly we had an epidemic on our hands?
What if?
And then
we
we end
played
up
a
with
what
an
if
actual
game,
zombie
right?
apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse. Keep going back to
So
that.
how would the legalization of drugs affect our justice system or police officers?
It'd be amazing. I mean, look at what we've got going on right now. We've got overcrowding in the prisons right now with innocent drug addicts. They did nothing wrong. They just were addicted to something, a wonderful drug that made them feel good every day, and now they're in prison.
I do agree. I believe the overcrowding is an issue, but I don't think that those are innocent people that are in jail.
I mean, if drugs are legal, they're innocent, right? It's
It would
that's
be,
what
but
we're
right,
debating
currently drugs are not. So I don't know that we can just call them innocent people because drugs are bad for people.
Well, would you rather have a coke addict who just wants to snort a line on a Friday night behind bars, or would you rather have a serial killer behind bars? Cops should be focusing their attention on people that have more dangerous crimes that are killing people and not just shooting up a line or doing some marijuana or inhaling coke or whatever these kids do.
Are there not people, though, who go out and have cocaine or do heroin and things like that and end up doing heinous crimes as a product of some of these things, basically? Because they're not in their right minds. It alters your state of consciousness, and that can make you into a serial killer, whether you would want to be one or not. They don't really have
I
a
don't know
choice
about
at a
that.
certain
You ever seen someone high on smoking pot?
Yeah,
They're not going out and killing anybody. They're just chilling.
Yep.
But-
Getting something to eat.
But marijuana is actually already legal in some cases in the United States. We're not
It's a
talking
great
about ones that are
revenue generator,
already
right?
legal. We're
That's why
talking
they
about
need to
ones.
legalize all drugs. Every single one of them.
Not all drugs
All
will
of them.
end up making you just really, really calm and really, really chill and able to drive at like 25 miles an hour in a 50 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, let's not even talk about car accidents. That the amount of traffic accidents that this would lead.
Oh yeah, this would cause all kinds of problems. People who are that shaky and that like hyped up on something, you would end up driving at ridiculous miles per hour because you don't realize how fast you're going. And that
People
kind
do
of
it with
thing.
alcohol anyways. Alcohol's legal, you know, what the heck?
It's
It
also
doesn't
not
hurt.
legal to
It
drive
doesn't
with
add
alcohol.
any issues, really. I mean, it's just illegal to drive on coke.
Well, it just makes it worse of a problem though, because there's still only a limited amount of people who are going to be able to basically like, if you add that to the concoction, basically, if you try to add Coke on top of alcohol, think of the people who are going to be doing that together as one whole giant thing then too. Because you have less people who are doing drugs in addition to alcohol than you have people who are just drinking alcohol.
No,
And that
have
could
you
add
ever
all kinds
have
of
you ever done
problems.
coke? I assume not.
No.
No. Well. I
Give
mean,
it a try.
when you do coke, you don't need to drink. I mean, you're up there. You're high. You got your high. You're good. You don't need anything else.
Exactly. It would be a whole nother problem to add to the.
All right. It's been a very good discussion. Thank you very much. We're going to have to wrap it up here. We are running out of time now. But before we end, we're going to have a quick statement from each one of the members of our panel, starting with Mary Jane over here on the right.
Could you please say the question?
One last statement from you regarding your view on our
Drugs
topic
should
today.
not be legal. I don't think that this is the right thing that we should be doing. It's not right for the American public. It will ruin the economy. It will ruin the morale of the American people, and it will ruin families.
Drugs are bad. Drugs kill people. People die because of drugs. And all the information that I've gotten to get my backing has come from the organization of Drugs Are Bad for People.
Drugs need to be legal. I'm sticking with that. You know, the lavish lifestyle, it's incredible. But at the same time, everything I've said is bull.
Drugs also do need to be legal. I love them so much that every single one of them just needs to be legal so I don't have to fiend for my addiction. But everything I also said was bullshit.
Thank you again, everyone, for watching. This has been an evening with both. See you next time.